the great thing about groups is if you're not posting stuff that's engaging or that people want to like interact, you'll know real fast. And the stuff that people like, keep track of it and reuse it, repurpose it. And use the scheduling tool in Facebook groups. It's free. And it's 60 days to just post your content out for the next 60 days. And it's really not that hard. And if you're sitting there going, but no one, Laura, I don't know anybody. I'm new to a city like I was. No one's going to join my group. I started with 10 people. We've got over 10,000 plus a few thousand other like little mini New York groups in our area. But people will join if they feel that your content is worth it and you're providing value.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rockstars podcast. I'm Shelby Johnson, and today I'm here with Laura Griffin out of Northern Virginia near DC, Loudoun County. If you're from that area, I have a 703 area code. I went to high school in Northern Virginia, so like, girl, I'm with you. Laura, is going to teach us how she built her business entirely off of her mom's Facebook group and now closes 20 million in volume per year with lead generation exclusively through that group. So Laura, so excited to have you. And listeners, this one is for you if you are interested in lead generation using Facebook to build your business. Laura, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Shelby. I'm so excited to be here. What part of Northern Virginia are you from?
Woodbridge.
Okay, a little farther,
yeah.
But this
yeah. And I did say it right, but it's Loudoun, right?
It's Loudoun County. Yeah, so you would be Prince William. So we neighbor each other. It's close.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I meant to confirm before we hit record, and then I was like, nope, just send it. So anyway. Okay, Laura, let's take us back a little bit because you've been in real estate for 10 years. And can you talk about like how you got started through real estate, how you came to find this niche that you've locked in now?
Yeah. So when I started, I was new and I didn't know what I was doing and joined a team who had a rainmaker who was buying leads for us. So we were doing, all the usual suspects of online leads and doing open houses every weekend. And I had my daughter was just born when I first started. And then fast forward like 2.5-ish years later, I had my son. So I always had little kids. And so kind of online leads were not my thing. I just didn't have that speed to lead. And I hated giving up my weekends with my husband and my kids for open houses and, all those kinds of things. I don't like to door knock. It scares me. I'm just not that person. So I quickly started realizing that being a young mom and being in these moms groups and things like that, that it just was easier for me. That was kind of my niche, was helping other moms with buying or selling a house because I had little ones. They had little ones. And so I quickly decided to start a Facebook group just for moms, not real estate related, and then realized that was feeding my business. So kind of transition off of online leads. I don't do open houses anymore, not even my own listings. I get all of my leads from my Facebook group and a few past clients, but I would say 90% is from my Facebook group because it's all moms and I'm a mom and that's just kind of my niche and how I do all my marketing.
Okay, so when you started this, it wasn't specifically for real estate. Is it still specifically real estate, or can you tell us about the page?
Yes, so the Facebook group is for my moms and my
group,
yes,
not page. Okay, they're different.
That's a totally different thing. Yes, and actually, Facebook promotes the groups more now because they want a sense of community. They don't like the pages, and with pages you have to pay to play. Groups you don't have to. And no, I started it from a place of like I'm a mom. I needed some mom friends. I hate to admit it, but that's why. And I had questions. And so it came from a genuine place. And as I was in there kind of answering people's questions and when people would ask, where's the best, place to get your kid's haircut or the best park or the best ice cream place, I would know where those were. And then it would just naturally lead into I'm a real estate agent and then can I help them? So it started out just kind of organically. And I wasn't meaning to start it to get leads. It just happened.
Okay. And how has it evolved over the years? Like listeners out there, they're like, oh, I want to use this for lead generation specifically. And I can start it and say that it's not, but should I? So like kind of what does that look like?
So I would say 90% of what I post is not real estate related. And the 10% of maybe real estate related that I do post on there, other than like the banner in the group is, you can tell I'm a real estate agent and in my description, is really just kind of not standing up and screaming, real estate agent, use me to buy or sell. It's kind of just weaved in there. Like, it's daylight savings time is coming. You know, as a real estate agent, I always recommend checking your smoke detectors. Are they over 10 years old? You know, batteries, things like that. So they kind of understand I'm a real estate agent, but yet I'm providing value. Or, you know, look at this cute, you know, I was on my way to a listing appointment. I'll look at this cute, like, kids thing that we stopped and did this weekend before I went to work. So again, they see I'm a real estate agent, but yet I'm not screaming I'm a real estate agent. It just kind of naturally weaved into the conversation. So I think if you come from a place of providing value to your community, and not using it as, so often I see people just post real estate ads or their listings or their coming soons or their buyer seminars in their groups. If you can't do that and spam people, because no one will want to be in that group. But if you're weaving it in naturally into the conversation, it's really easy, and people will start to remember, oh yeah, Laura's a real estate agent, or, you know, Shelby's a real estate agent. You got to use her. So it's about having kind of natural conversations, just like you would when you go to a party, right? You're not going to stand there and say, I'm a real estate agent at a middle of a party, right?
No, Laura, that's what I do every time. Stand at the table. I'm like, yo, girl, I'm in real estate. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Do you wear your name badge too?
Yes. No, just kidding. Okay, so let's take it back to like super tactical. So I want to talk about setting up your group, and then I want to talk about growing the page, how you get people to go there. And then I want to talk about some content examples. If we could go through all of that, setting up your group, you mentioned banner. And
so that's the header of your group should have, and obviously every state's different for disclosure. So, you know, what might be here might be a little bit different for you, but I have my real estate logo on my banner and the name of the group. And then I have my name, which, you know, and my group is also admin by my real estate page. So at the bottom, you've got a little bit of a banner that says, hosted by Laura Griffin Real Estate, my brokerage. So those are some ways you can kind of hide it in there. And then you should always have your group as searchable, but not, the posts are going to be private. So people can find your group, but yet they can't see the content in the group. And in your description, I have, you know, thank you for joining my Loudon Moms, group, you know, a little bit about the group, why they want to join. I have my real estate disclosures at the bottom. You know, Laura, it's run by Laura, and she's a real estate agent, blah, blah, blah. And I actually have a call to action there, because I find a lot of people will initially find my group sometimes when they're relocating to the area. So a secret tip is, if you have a landing page for a relocation guide or a buyer's guide or a seller's guide, but I like the relo guide, put that in your description. So when people are searching the groups and they find you, they can click on that link, go to your landing page, they can get the relocation guide and join your group, and you're capturing their information. So that's been really powerful, is having like a relocation guide.
What is your group titled?
So the biggest thing with a group is you should have your location. So your city, your town. Mine, I use a county because our county is a little big, and our little towns are just too small. So mine's the Loudon Moms. So you could do, you know, a mom's group. You could do like Sacramento Moms or Woodbridge Moms, or you could do
I'll tell my mom. Okay.
Or Woodbridge Community Group. You could do the name of your town or city or county community group, something like that, because you want the location there for people that are searching, because you want it hyper local. You know, I don't want people from New York joining my group or another state. The other thing, unless they're relocating, of course, but the other thing is Facebook will use it as a search engine. So when people are searching, if you have the location in the name, it'll help with that. And then you have to have the cities and the different towns or the county in your description too. So it acts as another place for people to really make sure that they're joining the right thing, and that they're local to you.
Okay, so we have the group, which is search optimized. It's the location, and then mom's group, community group, whatever you want. And then we have the fact that the group is searchable. They can find it, but the posts are private for a little teaser. You know, let's tease in here. And then the tip was in the landing page in the description, include the landing page for the relocation guide to capture the information. So my next question is, since it is private, what are the questions are in order to get in? Like, are you doing contact information capture at that point in like pulling into CRM, or like what does that access point look like?
Absolutely. So you have 3 questions, right? So I always ask where they live because obviously I don't want, it's a twofold. I don't want people from outside of my area, but I also, it's sometimes they'll say, oh, I'm moving from Orlando, Florida. It's like, oh, okay, well, great. Then I know you're relocating. The next one is, can I have your email? Because we're going to send you exclusive member content, sometimes discounts, and they get a weekly newsletter. So I am capturing their email. And I use a Chrome extension that actually captures that information and dumps it on a Google CSV file. And then it can upload to a variety of CRMs. So that way I'm not having to cut and paste emails like I used to do. And then the last question I just put, if you're relocating or moving in the area and you need help with real estate, here's my contact information, or would you like me to contact you? And so people will put yes or no, or yeah, absolutely. Here's my phone number. And I'll contact them from there. So I really utilize my 3 questions. Unfortunately, you only get 3 with Facebook. So you've got to really maximize those.
Oh, okay. Learning. This Chrome extension, I heard about this on another podcast. I'm sure there's several of them, but can you tell me about it? Because I'm sure there's many people out there who are copying, pasting, and they want this cheat sheet to pull it from, talk us through it. So they submit it, and is the extension pulling it from your inbox and Facebook? Because is that where it goes, or?
No, it's pulling data. It's pulling different metadata. So it's pulling their name, their location. It pulls, I've got a couple different groups, so it'll pull which group it pulled it from. It'll pull the answers to your 3 questions too. So it's pulling some data out for you. There's a couple out there. There's 2 that I like. One is called Group Kit. And the other one is Group Leads. So those are the 2 that I really like. You have to pay for them. And if it's pretty minimal. It's just like a few $100s a year. I mean, in the grand scheme of life, it's not a lot of money.
Here's a quick commercial break from our sponsor, Ryan Pineda.
If you are trying to grow your real estate investing business, then you need to join us at Wealthy Investor. If you have no idea what Wealthy Investor is, it is our coaching program and community. We have helped thousands of students worldwide grow their business. Now, it doesn't matter if you're just getting started and you're trying to get that first deal. We can help you do that. If you're trying to scale your business and go from a few deals a year to a few deals a month, or even 7 figures a year, we can help you do that too. In fact, last year alone, we had over 30 students do over $1 million in revenue. And I'd love for you to be the next one. So it's pretty simple. If you're trying to grow your business and wholesale more homes, or flip more homes, or buy more rental properties, then you need to go to wealthyinvestor.com and book a free call with our team. It's super simple. We'll go on a strategy call with you and figure out how we can help you grow according to your needs. So all you got to do is go to wealthyinvestor.com, book the free call with the team, and we'll see you there.
Now back to the show. And do you use both? What's the difference?
I don't use both. I've used both of them at different times. Different ones sync better with different CRMs. Or email service providers. So if using like a MailChimp or Constant Contact or Active Campaign, some of them talk a little nicer to those than other ones do. So it kind of depends on what CRM or email servicing company provider that you're using to see which one will sync up better for you. And the Group Leads ones I like a little better because it dumps it onto a Google Sheet. So I've got a backup copy of my Google Drive. And I'm just kind of like, in case something gets missed one day or they're not talking to my CRM, I kind of like having that backup copy, in my opinion, is just an added bonus.
I love a backup. Yes.
Yeah. Because things happen, right? Dude, you never know.
All the time.
Really there?
Yeah. And won't stop. Yes. Okay. So at this point, we have the page, and now they are trying to get access to it, and you are getting the information on where they live, their email address, and whether or not they want to speak with you, whether they're hot or not. And then now that you have this, use the Chrome extension to pull the data. Do you automatically send them any welcome, or do they just get plugged into the weekly newsletter? What does that look like?
So they get if you, in your settings on your back end of your group, there is a way for them to get basically almost like a welcome pop-up that comes up with like rules, and there's like a little, like a letter you can write and stuff like that. They get that, but then they're put on my welcome email. And so if they are a relocation client, they're moving to the area, they get a little bit of a different welcome email sequence because it's got the relocation guide and a little bit more meat and potatoes about our area. they're just normal people. It's like, welcome to our group, a little bit about me, if they have any questions, this, and then they naturally get dumped into the Friday weekly emails that they'll get. So I like having a welcome email because sometimes people have questions, or they're like, oh, wait, we actually are moving to the area. Or it kind of starts to open up that conversation that, hey, I'm a real person and I've got kids, and, those kinds. It makes it feel more personal.
Relate to me. We are the same. Okay. So I might've missed it because I was typing notes. I'm good student over here.
Oh, good. Homework later, right? Lots of homework.
That's right. So you do the welcome depending on whether they're relocation or not. But did you also mention that you post on the group welcoming them, like tagging them, like, hey, you're new, or like, is there anything in the group that's public?
No one will see. There is a welcome email or a welcome post that I do in the group. I don't like the automated one that Facebook does for you. So I have that setting clicked off, and I just do the post. And it's got a little link about, I put a little bit like welcoming them. And there's some jargon in there about, here's our rules. Here's where our guides are in our group. If you have any questions about real estate, here's a little bit about that and a little bit about myself. And then it welcomes everybody. It kind of just starts the conversation. It's a warm welcome to them. You can set it up so Facebook automatically sends them or does that post for you, but the image just looks really, I don't like the image that they use. They use a standard image. It's really, I don't like it. And it's just like, welcome, Susie Smith and Joe Blow, and like all these different, it's just very like, it just looks fake to me, or not personalized.
Man, like if it looks fake to us, it definitely does to them. I feel like they can smell it a mile away.
They can smell when it's fake and not genuine and salesy. And
I can too.
Smell the sales breath. Yeah,
totally. And then even like on posts, I know, there's a lot of conversation about like, I'm just talking about social media in general, outsourcing and using your time wisely and all of that stuff. And I am 100% all about that. But the thing that I feel like I can't release yet is like my own like captions and stuff, just kind of similar to you, because if I had someone else do it, or if it was automated, it's like, now it doesn't sound like me. It feels inauthentic. I feel like there's this disconnect between me and whoever I'm trying to reach. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I digress.
Yeah, it does. And the same like with using AI now. I use AI a lot, but I've also manipulated the data so that way it sounds a little more real, like a real person, like me. So yeah, I get it.
Okay, before we move on to growing your page, you mentioned rules and guides. What rules do you have? And then we can, after you answer that one, we can go into like examples of the guides.
Oh my gosh, I have to remember what they are off the top of my head. And it
doesn't have to be specific. I'm just talking about like the intent. You put the rules in there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Most of them are around, it sounds really bad, but and everyone's an adult, obviously. But a lot of it is around like behavior, right? So it's like being some of them are generic. Facebook has for you. So I think it's 4 or 5 they have defaulted for you. So like be kind, no hate speech, no bullying, no shaming. I've tweaked one to like no negative reviews. Nothing annoys me more than, you bought a cake from a cake baker and they messed up the name or something, and then you just slam them online. Like those are some things that I don't allow in my group, because things happen and we're all, I'm a business owner and I make a mistake. I don't want someone slamming me online. No promotions or spam, because we get a lot of air duct cleaning companies and stuff like that. Respecting people's privacy. So like no screen grabs of the group. I don't allow any selling of any items. Like it's a mom's group. So you get a lot of people like selling used baby items. So I just don't allow that. We had some issues with charity posts, like GoFundMe and stuff, especially during COVID. So we just don't allow that. I don't allow any political, religious stuff in my group. And then we don't allow any business promotions in our group, except for on certain days or on a certain post, because we were having a hard time with, different businesses would be posting like every day, and it just got spammy, and I don't do it. Then I kind of want the other businesses to respect the group and not spam us with their business every day. It gets old.
Yeah. Although we appreciate the consistency.
Yeah, I'm okay. There was one, and it was a lot. It was a photographer, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I do need to get my, spring family photo. I was like, you better just book it. It was like the universe must be telling me. But after a while, I was like, look, we booked them. I don't need to
enough already. Yeah, dude, totally. Do you let other real estate agents in there?
So that's a good question, and I know it's going to be the most controversial question. So I do not. I've gotten flack from other real estate, and I don't let lenders and I don't let title companies. And this is my response to that. And if you run a group, you do you. But my feeling is, because I've gotten burned by title and lenders in the past that have been in my group, and they start recommending any other real estate agents, and they start saying, "Oh, don't use Laura, use Joe Blow or whatever." Yeah. Rude. So I'm like, okay, don't do that. But with the real estate agents, how I think of it is it's like my own open house, right? So if I'm hosting an open house, am I going to let another real estate agent sit at the door and talk to the people coming into the open house? And everyone always says, no, I would not. Because you wouldn't, right? You wouldn't let an unrepresented buyer and let them get their information. So you're not going to let them sit in your group and get leads from it. So that's kind of my thought is no, I don't let them in. And occasionally some will slip by and I just delete them out of the group. It's okay. They can start their own, and some have, and it's okay. There's enough business and there's enough room for everyone to have a group or get business how they want to get business in our area.
Especially in Nova. I mean, there's a lot of people. Y'all got a lot of people there.
Yeah, there's like tens of thousands of real estate agents. I mean, there is a lot. Real estate agents, a lot of people. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So got the rules. Now you mentioned that you have guides right there in the group for anyone to access. What are some examples of those?
So guides are they're really cool. They're a thing that Facebook rolled out maybe a year or two ago. And it used to only be for certain groups. Now everyone has access. But you think of them as folders, right? So if someone wants to go in your group and open up your filing cabinet, you'd have things in there. So I have the first one's about me, a little bit of information. So if someone wants to know. And then I have a buyer's section with a buyer's guide, a little video, a link to my CRM if they want to look up houses. There's a seller's folder with the same thing. It just says, what's your home worth? There's a relocation section. It's a little bit meatier. It's got like some school stuff, website, stuff that they may want to, different neighborhoods maybe they want to look at, a relocation guide. And then I've got some community-based things, the best parks in our area. So if someone wants to look up a park, we have consignment sales in our area for kids. That's one of the biggest questions we get. What's the best fall and spring? So we've got that in there. One that we update every January, February is kindergarten registration. We have a lot of questions around that in our group. And so the nice thing about it is if someone has a question about kindergarten registration it's usually around the 1st of February, I'll say, hey, we've got a guide on it. And it's got all the information for Loudoun County, what you're going to need to bring. And it's got a link to Loudoun County's website if you've got any further information. So it's nice because then I can show that I'm adding value by saying, hey, go look here. We've got all this stuff for you. I didn't create it. Loudoun County did, but I just finessed it in my own way. And it's nothing secret, but people will go like, oh my God, that's so cool. She's got all the information. And it's like, yes, it's so cool, but I didn't create it. And so it's just a Canva doc. It's nothing. It's a little prettier than what the county gives us. And it's got a little bit of some nice colors to it, but it's super easy. I mean, you can put guides for anything, best pizza parlors. You can put, we have fireworks, Christmas lights, pumpkin patches, all of that is in the guide. So it's a great place to reference people back if they want information.
A quick word on our toolbox. We know it can be overwhelming thinking about all of the systems you want to build into your business, and that is why we ask guests to submit their favorite checklist, template, or tracker so you don't have to build from the ground up. Go to realestaterockstarsnetwork.com and click Toolbox for your free access. Thanks so much. It makes sense. And it's the stuff that people care about. Because if you created that's what I see too a lot, like new agents will start actually a page, right? Or maybe even a group on Facebook when they get their license and they're like, real estate, let's just blast with the 10 steps of home buying and the freaking things you need to know when you're getting approved and all. Like, no one cares. No one cares. They want to know what the best parks are and when the consignment sales are happening and how to get their kid into kindergarten.
Yeah. And the thing I've actually done now is I sometimes I'll have a photographer go out, or sometimes I'll just make my husband or someone help me. But when new the biggest thing for my group has been when new So, we're in a housing crunch here, as everybody is. And new construction is just a little bit more accessible in our area and a little easier to get into than some of the, resale homes, because there just aren't as many. And so we've been doing some about new communities that are coming up. Hey, look at XYZ community. It's coming up. Here's a little bit of information. If you want to get more information, and I lead capture that stuff too. So it's kind of a way to lead capture, but the people like these videos and just a little bit of information because they think I know everything. And it looks like I do. Maybe I don't, I'll find it for you. But, or we also have like, some of my vendors are in there too. Do you need, people like, I need a house painter. It's like, oh, I got a guy. It's in the guides. So it's just a way to add value and show that you know your stuff.
Totally. So. There's so much power in being the connector. That's like, I used to say a lot of, it's like, I don't know anything, but I know people who do, and I can connect you with them. And the thing I like about that too, is that you don't have to always be keeping up to date with every specific thing that's going on. Like if you have a lender partner or the painter or, the new construction, whatever, it's like, you don't have time to be the expert in all of those things. But if you just keep up with the relationship and you piece them together, they will always think of Laura. Laura's the one who sent me the painter. Laura's the one who helped my kid in kindergarten. So powerful.
And the guides are easy and they live there forever and you can just update them. And it's a great, like I said, it's a filing cabinet and people can just reference it any time of day they want.
Okay, the next section is growing your page.
Group.
So you have like the ability to search, of course, with people searching for this, but are you doing anything else to get people onto your page? What are you doing?
Yeah. So when I first started my group and to grow it, obviously added a couple friends and they added a couple friends. And you can add past clients. Another thing that's really powerful, and it sounds so crazy, but people will do it, is you can run a contest and you can get, I've done it for $25 to Target and people will jump on that. Moms like that stuff, or coffee or Starbucks or, whatever store you like, but you can run a contest. Hey, we'll run a contest for whoever recommends the most people to the group. And if you're using one of those Chrome extensions, you can see that information. That data is pulled. So you can go, oh yeah, Laura recommended 10 people, she did the most this month. You can run a contest and whoever recommends the most people gets a $25, some sort of a gift card to XYZ. The other thing is once you hit about 500, Facebook thinks you're real and they'll start recommending you. So you really need to have your location, the location tags and the location in the name and the location in the description. So it's all tying together. And once Facebook gets enough data on your group too, it'll start realizing who your ICA is for that group and it'll start going out to people. The other one that's really powerful too, that I think a lot of people forget is if your business is the admin for your group, so your business page, you can run ads and you can't run ads to your group, but you can run ads to a landing page, off of your website, or if you use like a MailChimp or something, you can create landing pages, or your, Active Campaign does it. All these email service providers will, or ConvertKit or something like that. But you can do a landing page and add to a landing page to join that group. And then you can collect their name and their email. So you're collecting it again, just in case something happens with them adding to the group. And then there's a link for them to go to the group and join. So you can do ads, you can do contests, and also add everyone in your database. So if you're emailing your past clients, say, hey, I just started this local group. If you think it's a fit for you, you can join it. And here's the link to it in the bottom of like an email or something, or newsletter.
So good. Okay. I got to go back. Running the contest. So I've thought about this before for different things. I'd like to get a little bit more tactical. So like $25 to Target, I understand conceptually running a contest. Does that mean that you're going into the group, you are putting it there, or you're also doing it on your personal page? You're doing it on all of your pages. And then, okay, so you're nodding. By the way, listeners, if you're not watching, she's nodding.
Yes.
Okay. And then can you just like run us through the example of what that might say?
Yeah. So, you could say, hey, Woodbridge moms, right? We hit 1,000 members in our group this month. We really want to get to 1,500. If you know of any other moms in our area that are looking to join our tribe, here's the link, send this link to them of the group and ask them to join, or you can add your friends. You can invite your friends or invite your friends. So you have to keep track. There's a little bit of data. And then the person who adds or invites the most friends gets XYZ gift card. And then, I've had some people who have done like 10 winners, right? So a whole bunch of people got maybe smaller gift cards because they participated, but the person who did the most maybe got $100. Or I know some people that have done like everyone's a winner and no one really knows that. It depends on your budget, of course. But it's really, and you'd be surprised, like people will do anything for a gift card to somewhere. So you just got to figure out what's going to be your carrot you're going to dangle.
Okay, one more question on that. For the tracking people, like you mentioned, so does this go back to your Chrome extension? Or how are we tracking?
Yes. So your Chrome extension can say it, or when you're adding people to your group, it's kind of broken into like people. So each person and it's like kind of divided. So there's like little blocks. When you go to add Shelby, it'll say underneath her name, invited by Laura Griffin, right? So you could even do it manually. If you don't want to do the crunch, you can do it. You could just put, okay, Laura Griffin 1, check mark. Okay. And then you add that person. And then the next person, this person's recommended by Susie Q. Okay. Well, Susie recommended somebody. So you can just do it manually. You don't need the fancy things if you don't have the big budget for it. And you can just do it that way.
I want the fancy, Laura. I always want the fancy.
And he doesn't want to save time. I'm just like, whatever it costs, I'll just time is more valuable.
Okay, that's my thought on that too, where it's like people say it's free. And I'm like, nothing is free. So you're either paying for it with money or you're paying for it with your time. So it just depends on what you find more valuable in that moment. But yeah, I'm much more of like, I like my time. Like, give me, as long as, not ridiculous, but okay, I think I'm good on that. You mentioned Facebook starting to recommend you, and you mentioned ICA. Is that like your avatar, your target audience? What is ICA?
Ideal client, right? Ideal client avatar. Yeah. It's very good.
Love. Okay. Got it.
If you have a group, you can look at your insights and you can look at your membership and you can see what area people live in. Are they male or female? If you don't, I do a mom's group. So other than my husband being in the group as an admin, just for like, if I get kicked out of Facebook, there's a reason I have them in there. Mine's all women. And then it tells you where they live. It tells you their age group, which bracket of the ages they are. So, that's actually pretty powerful too, because you can use your group analytics and your insights on who's in your group to cater your content. Because a lot of times those people are following you on Instagram. They're following you on your Facebook page. They're following you wherever else you are, YouTube, all those things. So you can go, oh, okay, well, I have a lot more people in this town. Like for me, for a county, I have a lot more people in specific towns. So I know, okay, I need to create content on those specific cities versus some of these others that like no one lives in that are in my group. So it's pretty powerful. You can get a lot of data from there.
Real quick, as you likely know, the 2024 Real Estate Rockstars Mastermind is sold out. But if one of your preferred vendors is looking for marketing opportunities, we are looking for sponsors. We would love to get their name and business out to 80 highly motivated real estate agents from across the country. Know someone who'd be interested? Go to realestaterockstarsnetwork.com and shoot us a quick email for more information. Thanks so much. Back to the show.
Data is so fun too. Like once you understand it and you can use it to build out legitimate strategies and then take your precious time and use it in the best way possible, it's just like this magical, amazing thing.
Oh, I was creating YouTube videos and other content on my other social media. And I was like, why am I wasting time on some of these other cities that like maybe 1% of my group is part of it, like maybe 50% is part of this other city. I switched it and it made a huge difference because I knew the data.
See, data and strategy, best ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have growth. We have running the contents. We have friends of friends. We have potentially ads, Facebook recommendations based on the ICA. Yep. And then you invited everyone in your database. Is there anything else? I assume you also talk about it. Like whenever you're out, you meet a mom, like, oh my God, you should join my group.
Yeah, and other moms do. And I will, there's one more way to do it, but you have to be careful because you'll get your hand slapped real quick. Is if you're in other groups, and sometimes I'll see that since mine's a mom's group, I'll see people maybe a different group and they're asked, like maybe just like not a mom specific group, some other kind of group. And they've got a lot of questions. I'm like, hey, I happen to run a group. about moms in Loudoun County, and I'll put a link to it. You have to check the rules of that group you're in, because if they don't allow promotions, you could get kicked out of it and get your hand slapped. Or sometimes I'll say, hey, PM me, and there's another group that might be a better fit for some of these questions you're asking, and then they'll PM me and I'll just send them the link to it. So that, there's other ways of doing that too. If you really want to spend some time and go out and try to find people when you're first starting and wanting to grow your group and you have the time.
Okay, you have this group now, and you want to consistently show them love and provide them value. Do you have a schedule for this? Do you have like a Taco Tuesday, whatever, Friday? What do you got for that?
So I have a content calendar, and I will say I don't recreate the wheel. So I there is no shame. I will repeat posts. And it's okay. And I know it's going to be, she does what? It's like, it's okay. I promise.
Girl,
no one's going to know.
You're all good. You repeat those posts, girl.
No one's going to be like, Laura posted that in March. Wait, this is not going to work. Like, what is she doing? Why are we saying? They don't care. And they never know. So it's a little bit of a mix of some community-based things. Like, hey, the new pizza parlor is opening up in blah, blah, blah. Go check it out. Or my kids and I went, there's a new restaurant here called Silver Diner, and it just opened up by us. There's quite a few in the area, but I happened to just say, hey, we went, look at these kids' meals. They were like, the kids really liked them. So some community-based things like that. I don't know when people are going to hear this, but, the holidays are coming up. So it's like, hey, here's, my kids and I just went by this Halloween light show or this Christmas light show. Go check it out. And then I do a little bit of some other community-based posting with, the time of the year. So like daylight savings times. We've actually had a lot of house fires in our area recently. So like I was saying, making sure your smoke detectors are up to date. We've had like 4 in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's really been so I was like, so trying to stay up to date. Sometimes I'll also do posts that are fun. My favorite one is this, because if you're a mom, you're totally going to understand this. And even if you're not a mom, drop a GIF for how your morning went. And who doesn't love, and who does not, whose morning is not a train wreck? I mean, I know mine is 90% of the time. And it involves me screaming at my dog, you got to get out the door, put your shoes on, the bus is coming in 5 minutes. And so that's more of an engagement post, because you're just boosting the algorithm. And I love to do those because it's a quick gotcha thing. People are engaging. It's really good too to do that before you're going to post something of high value that you really want everyone to see. So your engagement's really, really high. Maybe you do 2 really, really high posts and then post something that you really want people to see that's real estate related. So it could be, it's the first of the month. Look at this cute little, I was on my way to to a listing appointment, stopped by Home Depot with my kids. We made this cute little, treasure box, and do some pictures and stuff. So you're weaving in your real estate, but you're not saying I'm a real estate agent. And also doing some other posts that I like, which can help with data mining your group, is if there was one thing you could change in your home, what would it be? And people will always post, I'm having a new baby. I've outgrown my house. My neighbor stinks. I don't like them. I hate my HOA. I wish I had a better kitchen. And so if you start reading through the comments, you can go, oh, this person might be thinking about buying. They're having a new baby. They're outgrowing their house, or this person's gotten a divorce and they want to get rid of their husband off the house, or their house is too small, or their yard's too, whatever these things are. And what's so powerful about groups is you can click on their profile and you could say, Laura Griffin lives in Ashburn, Virginia. Okay. I can go to my MLS, look them up in the tax record, or maybe I've already got her email. So then you can start sending me, if I say I'm outgrowing my house and I want to buy a new one, or I just having a baby and I'm thinking about selling my house, you can look me up and start sending me curated content about, trading up your home or outgrowing your home, and it's the right time to sell and how to buy and sell at the same time. So it can be really powerful to data mine your group. If you're obviously I can't post something that's trying to get real estate information from people like every week, but you can do it every few weeks or every few months and kind of roll with that content.
That's a really good question. If there's one thing you could change about your home, what would it be? Because everyone wants to share that. There's some things, where it's like, hey, do you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest? Like, no one really wants to share that. But if you're like asking about their home, they're like, yes, let me tell you about everything that's happening in my life.
Yes.
It's hard.
And sometimes you'll get, one time I got like a paragraph. I was like, oh, honey, we need to find you somewhere else to live. It sounds like a train wreck of things.
We're going to talk now.
Yeah. And if you can private message them, I mean, you can't send everyone the same generic private message, because I will say Facebook will slap your hand and you will be banned from sending private PMs to people, or you can get kicked off Facebook. So you got to be kind of careful. But you can totally look up those people and find out, and send them a CMA or ask if they want one. I mean, there's just, the group can be so powerful, and you can get so much data from these few thousand people who already know, like, and trust you. It's so powerful, and it's like, I know we did talk about there are some paid things like Chrome extensions, and contests or whatever, but it's essentially free to have this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's powerful.
I think there's probably a lot of people out there who might, actually no one in particular. He has 17,000 people in his Facebook page. It started like a Living in Greensboro Facebook page. Shout out Scott Moore. And one of his issues has been like converting those people. And so I've noticed you've said weave it in. I think that's genius about how you are sharing your story, as opposed to like, hey, I'm, straight up, this is me at an open house, hardcore real estate focused. Or like, I'm on the way to the open house. We stopped at Home Depot. It's just like this beautiful little psychological little hack you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it.
I do share some real estate. So we have a low supply, as I'm sure everybody else pretty much does. The one thing I do for real estate related is like, if I have a listing coming up, I use it in my sales spiel at my listing appointments. Like, hey, I can promote your coming soon and your listing in a group of 10,000 moms. It's an exclusive community, and, we'll market it, la, la, la. But the thing is, I do promote my coming soons, and I'll do it in a way of, I know the market's rough right now. If you're thinking about buying a home, or you have a friend this house is going in the market, is coming soon, because our MLS, we can do it 21 days. And here's I do the information. It's allowed in mom exclusive homes, and it's allowed in mom, and I tag the mom in there, so then all her friends see it. And so I do a little bit of real estate, but it's not like every week home of the week and look at me, aren't I cool? I just won this big award, and that stuff. No one cares. They really don't.
Okay, gotcha. And with this, so you're weaving it in, you have the newsletter. Are you doing specific like calls to action, or are all of your calls to action the like not direct? Are you doing any that's like direct? Like, hey, are you looking to buy?
Content in the group?
Yeah.
No, I don't do anything direct, because that's not my intent of my group. And I will tell you, they will call you, and it's always random. It's like, oh, I've been in your group, or I've been getting in your emails, and I want you to, my husband and I are ready to buy and sell a home. Can you just come over tomorrow? Yeah, sure. But if I were to stand up every week and spam them with it, in fact, I know how I would feel, because it's like buying a used car to me. Like, I hate buying cars for the same reason. I don't want someone bothering me all the time and calling me and selling me stuff. And people will leave your group. In fact, I've coached other people, and I've looked at their groups, and I'm like, what happened here? You're like, group's falling off a cliff. And then I look at the content. I'm like, well, you're putting house of the week up every week. No one cares. Or you're posting, look, my title company's doing a seller seminar or buyer. No, they don't. That should not be your number one purpose in your group.
Okay, so you are providing the community, you are providing the value, you are sharing your story and weaving in real estate in a non-salesy way, nothing direct. And over time, by doing that, they will contact you when they're ready.
They will. And in our email newsletter that goes out every week, there is links, and I have to have my disclosures in there, obviously. So there are links to things, and people do click on that. And so it is sort of a call to action, but it's kind of at the bottom. It's not the first thing you're going to see. And so there is that. But like I said, yeah, in the group, I used to at the beginning, and I just found it's a huge turnoff, and people can smell the sales breath through the computer. It's just not how I want to do my business.
And I agree. I love it. Cool. Okay. What did we miss? What did we not talk about that you think is really important to share with Facebook groups?
I think really just the name. Whenever, like your Greensboro, that's perfect. Living in Greensboro, that is perfect. Living in community group, those types of things. I think whenever I look at a group for someone, when I'm auditing them, when I'm coaching them, it's the name is going to be your biggest thing, and making sure that the location is in your description, because those are the things I really see people missing. And they'll say, "Oh, my group's not growing." And I'm like, well, I don't know, you've got like, or they've got like a hiking group or a foodie group. It's like foodie group of where? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So you really have to have the location in your name is the most important thing.
Okay. And you are doing 20 million plus in volume annually off this group, but you also have a coaching program. So hit us. What is the coaching program? What do they get? All the things.
Yes. So I have two options. So one is a course that you can take. It's got everything from start to finish. We've got templates for creating banners and rules and your entrance questions and your descriptions and your content posts and things like that, and how to nurture and all the things. So that's all in there. It's at groupstoleads.com. We have a free webinar if you want to learn a little bit about Facebook groups. It's groups, plural, to leads, again, plural, .com/webinar. And it's got a lot of information. And then I do one-on-one coaching. So if you want, or if you already have a group, but you need a little bit of hand holding to kind of get it back to where you want it to be, then we have one-on-one coaching, and that's groupstoleads.com too. And it's on the front page. There's a coaching link if you want more information about that piece of it. So I can help you get or like some people, their group's falling off the, like just falling off the cliff. We can help you get it back up there. Or help you extract leads from it, because it's a powerful tool and it's free. So might as well use it. It's paying for all those online leads from those other companies.
Yeah. The thing I like about this too, it's that like if you pay for online leads, yes, you could get those leads and then over time, get referrals off of your amazing performance and keep them in your database, and they'll turn into more business down the road. But that's like a down the road play. Whereas like this, you have your ecosystem just right there on Facebook, like everything you'd ever need, 10,000 people and all of their friends and family. So,
yeah. And, I will admit, I have two kids. They're 7 and 10 now, but when they were littler, this was easy for me. And it's still like, I can spend 10 to 30 minutes a day on it. And that's my prospecting time versus if you're calling online leads or FSBOs or expire. You can be spending hours on the phone. And I kind of like that work-life balance of, I kind of work when I want to work versus being a slave to the phone and when the person's going to call you back and, calling people a million times a day and that kind of stuff.
And people listening, they're like, gosh, Laura's so cool. Where do I get to hang out with her? I have the website. I have the groups2leads.com. But Laura, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram. So it's Laura Griffin Coaching, or you can do Laura Griffin Realtor. I'm at Instagram. Either one, you can find me there, and that, or on Facebook, but mainly on Instagram, because that's where I share a little bit more about my life. I have 2 cute kids. I'll share them too every once in a while.
I followed you. I'm gonna like all your stuff.
What adorable children? No, I'm kidding.
Are you going to any events this year in person where people might be able to hang out with you?
I just spoke at Empowering Women in Real Estate. Actually, I was just a panelist on there. And actually, I think the video is up online. If you want to hear me talk more about Facebook groups, I'm in December. I'm going to go to Kevin's Next Level Agent Seminar. It's in Arizona because it's going to be like freezing here in Virginia. So the thought of Arizona sounds amazing. It better be warm. That's all I got to be. It better be warm.
Okay, gotcha. So we got your Instagram, we got the events, and we already talked about where people can find you. Any last words of wisdom for our listeners? No pressure. Slam that one on you at the end.
If you're I talk to people all the time, if you're on the fence about starting a group, just do it and don't overthink it. And the great thing about groups is if you're not posting stuff that's engaging or that people want to like interact, you'll know real fast. And the stuff that people like, keep track of it and reuse it, repurpose it, and use the scheduling tool in Facebook groups. It's free. and it's 60 days to just post your content out for the next 60 days. And it's really not that hard. And if you're sitting there going, but no one, Laura, I don't know anybody. I'm new to a city like I was. No one's going to join my group. I started with 10 people. We've got over 10,000 plus a few thousand other like little mini New York groups in our area. But people will join if they feel that your content is worth it and you're providing value. But if you start selling to them, yeah, you're right. No one's going to join because they don't want to be sold to.
Perfect. Guys, you heard it. Laura Griffin in the house talking about Facebook groups. Make sure to go show her love. All of her links will be in the show notes for you to check out. And if you want to hang out with me and the owner of the show, we are The Shelby Show and Erin Amuchastegui on the gram. As always, we want feedback. We want to know how we can improve, who you want to hear on the show, et cetera, et cetera. And guys, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Laura and Real Estate Rockstars, thanks for listening.